We will start from this. It is also very interesting that ILO, International Labor Organization, working together with IEA, they come up with something called ergonomics checkpoints. This is already second edition and it's free, so you can download it. I also put, since it's free, so I also put it in Moodle. Okay, this was just published maybe 3 years ago, and there was the first edition which was published about 20 years ago. Why do they do this? Because there's only about 50 ergonomic societies spreading in different countries, and some of the countries, although there's already a society, okay, probably only the whole society probably only consists of fewer than 10 people. However, we feel that ergonomics is really necessary in the workplace. So we're trying to develop something which can help common people, the people who doesn't have any ergonomics idea, who doesn't have any engineering background, who doesn't know how to analyze jobs, how to analyze tasks. So we hope that when they look at this checkpoints, if they follow the checkpoints, they can identify the problems in their workplace easily, okay? So this is a practical and easy to implement. With this in mind, easy to implement, that's how it was developed. Solutions for improving safety, health, and working conditions. Okay, so we'll briefly look at this. Oh, it's already, yeah, first published in 1996, second edition 2010. I think it's not so old, but yeah, when it was distributed, it's, it's not 2010. Okay, the checkpoint, checklist is one of the 7 tools of quality. If you receive an industrial engineering or industrial management quality control training, okay, Japanese professor Ishikawa promoted, advocated 7 tools of quality. You know that? 7 tools of quality. The first is checklist. or checkpoints. Checklist. Very useful tool, right, in the workplace. The second one, fishbone diagram. You know fishbone diagram? Right? Yeah, so in the 7 tools, it starts with checklist. Using checklist, you can do a lot of things, right? Okay. In this checklist, it's very industrial engineering. See, it has totally 132 points. Okay, and classified into about 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and including in the annexes. Okay, 9 category. 9. The first one is materials storage and handling. There are 17 items. The second one is hand tools, about hand tools. Okay, from 18 to 31. And the third type is machine safety, workstation design, lighting. So I can actually use this lighting to check this room, to check the machine. And I can discover some problems, even if you don't know about ergonomics. And premises and hazardous substances and agents, welfare facilities, work organizations. Okay, as you can see, some of them are physical, like materials, handling, storage, hand tools, machine, workstation design, lighting. Okay. And others may be, for example, in some of the sections, hand tools, machine safety, there will be cognitive ergonomics, about buttons, about displays, about, okay, the way it is organized, about control panel, about procedures, about methods of work. And that's more cognitive. And finally, there's also sections about welfare, facilities, and work organization, which is we call macroergonomics. Macroergonomics. Okay, we talk about the interaction among people. Okay. So from the viewpoint of interaction, you can think of physical ergonomics is the interaction between a person, a user, a worker, and the machine, a physical machine. You can think of cognitive ergonomics as an interaction, a way of interaction between the person, the worker, or the user, and the tools, the machines. However, it is something about how the person think, how the person expect from using it. And finally, macroergonomics deals with the interaction between people and people. If I put two workers very close together, so that they can communicate under a very noisy environment. And that's good to them, right? Otherwise, the environmental noise is so loud. So you have to put them closer so they can communicate well. On the other hand, there's no noise in the environment. If you put the office workers too close, you are giving the workers more opportunities to talk to each other, and that will probably reduce the productivity. So this is the kind of consideration in macro ergonomics, work organization. So a total of 132 okay, points. And it's impossible to look at all of them, okay, but I will just give you some quick and brief examples. But before we start, okay, there are some suggestions for using the manual. Usually, you have to select. You have to start with something simple, especially for those people who are not who have not received any ergonomics training. So it is suggested to start with 20 to 30 items. Okay. You only apply selected items. Try not to do all 132 all at the same time. That's difficult. Okay. That will become very frustrated. Very, very frustrated. Okay. And another thing, you always have to remember, when you are doing the checklist, you are actually finding problems. What does that mean? Think about me. I entered the classroom. I started with finding problems. I complain about the problem. I criticize the problems. Do you think I will become popular in my company? Probably not. And also, quite often, you are criticizing your own colleagues. Just like what I did this morning. I criticize this a lot. Who did this? In this university, there's someone who spent their time and effort trying to buy this for the professors. So when you are criticizing this machine, you are also criticizing your colleagues. So when you are using this questionnaire, you are exposing problems. So you go to the workplace, you said, oh, this is wrong, that is wrong. There are so many things wrong. Whoever your colleague may be, responsible for that, maybe a manager, he will remember you. And if you did this, when the big boss is around, you are exposing his or her problems to your boss. He will remember you forever. So you have to do this in a good way. In a good way. So ergonomics is really something which can provoke a lot of politics, not only country to country, not only within the country, not only within the company, but also between you and your friends, between you and your colleagues. Because we are finding problems all the time. So using a checklist to improve quality is a good thing, right? That's what we were taught in quality control. Using the tools to expose problems in productivity is also a good thing. That's what we've been doing without too much of a problem. But using the same tools, checklists, to expose ergonomics problems, we need to be very careful. We put ourselves in a position. On the one hand, we discover some problems. On the other hand, we cannot solve it. If you cannot provide good solution, you only criticize the problem. That would be a very poor approach. Okay, so checklist is good thing. However, if you receive more engineering or managerial skills or engineering techniques, then you are able to not only find out the problems, but also provide solutions, right? Otherwise, you become somebody who is not welcome. Actually, in the past, some companies are very eager to create a unit, a task force of ergonomics, but usually that task force died immaturely, died early. Why? Because you are always criticizing, you're always discovering problems, waiting for others to solve for you. So what is your value then? And your colleagues, right, will try to object to the ideas, to the problems you discover, right? They will try to cover up, because that's the things those things you criticize are the things they are doing. They probably design it. So that's something that we have to be careful about. Okay, since there are 132, so again, you need to have a good selection. Okay, try not to use all of them, and you have to design to adapt it. You have to locally adapt it. Okay, and okay, and the third step, making ready-to-use information sheets. Today, you can probably put all this into app on your phone, for your company, for your manager, for your engineers. Step 4, organizing training workshops for immediate workplace changes. This is a good methodology to start with, to finding solutions. After you use a checklist, you'll find problems, and you're waiting for solutions. Don't stop there. You need to organize workshops. Try to bring your colleagues all together, and then credit them. Give credit to your colleagues. You are probably the one who discovered the problem using the checklist, but your colleagues provide a solution. So organize a workshop, integrate everybody, and when you come up with good solutions, credit your friends, credit your colleagues. And then you'll become a good ergonomist. You'll establish your job. Okay, there's something that's about it. Okay, and follow-up is, PDCA, right? Plan, do, act, checked. Same thing, follow-up. You need to follow up. Okay? And it's never-ending. It's, again, never-ending process. Finally, you have to link achievements with improvement actions. Okay? By crediting your partners, your engineer partner, because a lot of solutions require engineering. By crediting your partners, your colleagues, okay, and probably, if possible, you can link your solutions with some quantifiable data, quantifiable results. In ergonomics, in occupation safety and health, this is quite difficult. Unlike productivity, you can show, we produce more this month. We decrease the defects this month. It's very easy to quantify, to show the data. However, it's probably very difficult to say, I reduced 1 death in 5 years. Right? You have to wait for 5 years to show your data. And it's also very difficult to prove that you do this, you did this. The company has no death, no serious injuries for 10 years. It's very difficult to show that this is your work. So in ergonomics, how to link achievements, how to link improvements, actions with values, this is quite difficult. But nevertheless, we still have to do it, if possible. Okay. Okay, so if possible, you can have download it from Moodle. I'll put it on there, and you can have a peek, so we can briefly look at it next time. Okay? That's it for today. I'll see you next week. I really hope that next week we can use another room. So check the Moodle, check the announcement. We're probably moving back to the management building.